So the Greeks and the Romans understood the power of the mind-body connection. They really got it, that your body could develop a strong mind, and conversely, a strong mind, could develop and build a strong body. In other words, physical and mental well-being are inseparable. So that sounds good, but how does it relate to me? How does it relate to my everyday life? Well, my own experience with the power of the mind-body connection started when I was about to turn 40, and I decided I needed to get in the best shape of my life. Now, I didn't just need a little weight training. I was, to put it bluntly, a little chunky, like 25 pounds extra chunky. And I really needed to get to the gym, and so I went to the gym, I signed up, and it was unbelievable that this time it actually worked. I was able to start an exercise regime. I got better, I got stronger, and after a little while, those 25 chunky pounds just went away. It was great. And people ask me, Wendy, how did you do it this time? Because, you tried before, it didn't happen. And what really made the difference this time was that I found a workout that I loved, okay? It really kept me coming back to the gym over and over. And the workout is quite unique. It looks like this. You pair physical movements with positive spoken affirmations, and you say, I am strong now, and I am inspired now, and I am on fire now. So, it is pairing physical words, physical moves with positive spoken affirmations. It's called Intensati, and it was developed by a fantastic fitness instructor in New York City named Patricia Moreno. And this is really a unique combination because we have physical movements, we have positive spoken affirmations that really ups the aerobic capacity of this workout. You have a memory component because you can't help but try and remember the moves, the affirmations, and the order in which they come. And you have a cognitive component because each of the affirmations are strung together so that you create a theory. So you might be talking about being the master of your fate, or inspiration, or creating your own destiny. And finally, the workout always ends with a meditation. So we say in Intensati that the meditation really is the most important part because it allows those affirmations to really sink in. All I knew is that I loved it. I went to this workout. I felt like $1,000,000 when I came out. And it took a little while, several months, several years, in fact, but I got better and better. I got stronger and stronger. I pushed myself harder and harder. And then something amazing happened. When I reached a certain level of fitness, I realized that when I went to work, that I could pay attention better and longer and stronger. My memory was better. My working memory was better. And I've studied memory for the last 25 years, so I know a little bit about memory. And the best thing was that my level of energy went through the roof. Okay, so now what am I going to do with this improved memory, improved attention, and energy? Well, the first thing I did is I ran out and became an Intensati instructor. So I went to the gym, got certified because I wanted to keep this level of high activity. I didn't want to go back to my sluggish self. I wanted to keep it there. And in fact, I've been teaching a free Intensati class right here at NYU for the past 4 years. But the second thing I did is I decided I wanted to understand exactly how physical movement was actually affecting our brain's learning, memory, and cognitive capacities. I have a research lab. I run an active research lab. I could start studying this, and this is what we've done for the past 4 years, really focusing on memory and attention. And we've shown that increased physical activity can improve both your long-term memory and your attention. But what I want to tell you about are stories, several stories from the studies that we've done that have really showed me the power and the promise and the full scope of the mind-body connection. And my first story starts at the Odyssey House, which is a state-run facility for recovering drug addicts. And we did a study looking at the effects of 12 weeks, twice a week Intensati on their cognitive performance. And because this was my first study looking at a patient population group, I wanted to teach those classes so I could really get to know the students, the residents at the Odyssey House. And this was an amazing class. They loved the class. They were so grateful to have people have us come and teach the classes for them. And just to give you a flavor of one of my students, his name was Kenny. So this was for elderly, lifelong drug addicts that were being treated in-house. Kenny was, he must be in his late 60s, a very elegant, thin wisp of a man. But the unique thing about Kenny is that every time he came to class, he came in a beautifully ironed, button-down white shirt and a bow tie. I'd never taught Intensati to a student in a bow tie, but he was wearing sneakers. He did change into his sneakers every time. Kenny also walked with a cane. And I told everybody in the class that if you have mobility issues, which several of them did, you can sit down, you can lean against the wall, or you can do the workout with your cane, whatever works for you. Kenny would have none of that. He'd walk into class slowly every day, throw that cane aside, and come up to the front, standing always to my left, and he took all the Intensati moves that I ever threw out at him, and he just took it in, and he did fantastic. But the thing that I wanted to share with you about this Odyssey House class is their response to the meditation. I call them my fierce meditators because I've never seen a class, and I've been teaching this for 4 years, I've never seen a class go into and go deeper into meditation as fast as they did. They would get in so deep that it was a wonderful atmosphere that they created. And I remember just sitting around in a circle during our meditation, and I would call them back out, and we would just kind of look at each other and say, yeah, that was good. I really got something out of that. I am grounded now. So the question is, what is meditation doing to your brain? The power of meditation. Well, we do know a little bit about the neuroscience of this. It's kind of a baby area of study in neuroscience. And we know that if you, normal people with no meditation training are put on a meditation protocol, then you can see improvements and increases in activity in brain areas important for attention and also impulse control. But we have a lot to learn there. What we do know is if we contrast that with the effects of exercise on brain function, we know it has profound effects, but in different brain areas than meditation. So what we know is that if you bring physical movement, any kind of physical movement and meditation together, as we do in Intensati, you're able to impact an even larger part of the brain. So my last study and my last story is about the most recent study that we completed. And this was with a group of patients with traumatic brain injury. We had people in our study that ranged from their 20s all the way up to their 60s. You know, traumatic brain injury doesn't have any age boundaries. In traumatic brain injury, there are a lot of difficulties with movement, with coordination, with attention. Many of the subjects weren't working at the time that they were in our study. They were just very hard trying to improve their cognitive functions. And that first day of the study, after we'd recruited the subjects for the study, I went to go welcome them and to just encourage them to come to the experiment, which was twice a week in Intensati for 8 weeks. Now, I did not teach this class. I hired a really wonderful Intensati instructor, Amanda Berlin, to teach the class. And I had asked her to prepare a really short Intensati demonstration with a slow speed. So we got everybody up, and they were a little bit trepidatious, a little bit weird to say affirmations out loud, but they all did it. And I thought it was going well until I turned to my right. And I saw this woman, Angelina, and she was walking towards me. And she had this pinched face, and she looked like she was about to cry. And she said to me, you know, I really wanted to be in your study, but that was just torture. Your lights are too bright, and the music was too loud, and it was too fast. I couldn't do it. I can't do the study. And we said, don't worry about it. She wasn't the only one that complained about the bright lights. Again, this was something that we have to be very sensitive to. And we said, don't worry, we're going to fix this all for the actual class. We'll turn the lights down. It'll be slow. Just come. You can sit down. But we really think you can get benefits out of this. So she seemed appeased, and I sent her off under the watchful wing of Amanda to take her 8 weeks of Intensati. And I didn't hear back from them until week 8. And I got this wonderful invitation. The class wanted me to come back and watch them for their very last class. And I remember going up there, taking the subway up there, and thinking, well, I'm going to do the class with them, but it's going to be slow, so I'm just going to wear my street clothes. That was a mistake. Because when we got into class, what I found was a class that was completely transformed. These people that had so many kind of motor issues, they were doing the workout at the level of any New York City Intensati class. The speed was high. They knew all the affirmations. They were able to call out the affirmations themselves. And who was standing at the front of the class with a big smile on her face, doing the workout full out, but Angelina. And I surprised myself. I almost started crying. I did start crying in the middle of class, just like I'm about to do right now, because it was so moving. It was the most striking transformation that I've ever seen in all of the research that I've done. And so after the class, we were able to sit around in a group, and I asked them, please tell me what this workout did for you. And Angelina went first, and she said that, just little by little, I could feel myself get stronger, and I had no coordination at the beginning, but then I was able to punch, just with the upper body, nothing with the lower body. And then I was able to feel my feet for the first time. She was able to feel her feet for the first time. And then she felt better, and the lights didn't bother her as much, and the music, the volume didn't bother her as much, and then she transformed into what I saw. Another beautiful woman who I remember from the very first session said to me that this class taught her how to smile again. That's the power of the mind-body connection. And it works on everybody. On a slightly chunky, almost 40-year-old professor. It works on traumatic brain injury patients wanting to recover. And it works on older recovering drug addicts. Just imagine what bringing a little bit of physical activity and meditation would do to a whole community. You would have people that were smarter. You would have them more attentive, happier. These will be your friends and neighbors. And in connecting better to yourselves, we'd be able to connect better to everybody else. So I hope I have inspired you to think about bringing physical activity and meditation into your lives. It doesn't have to be Intensati, anything that gets you moving. And if that's the case, I'm going to ask you, everybody, please stand up right now. Okay, ready? Intensati, just watch me and do what I do. Right, left, right, left. Okay, here's our affirmation. Here it comes.